Welcome to the Leslie Hawkins Podcast. Each week, my guest and I discuss one pivotal moment in their life, what they learned from it, and their words of wisdom. Our guest was a business owner, driven, entrepreneurial, building her own social media company. Then she met a client, and what started as a business relationship led to a vacation in the Caribbean. But when she returned to Canada, she was arrested with 2 kilos of cocaine strapped to her body. What followed was a period of her life she never anticipated, a 4-year prison sentence. Behind those walls, with everything stripped away, she came face to face with herself, and she made the choice to rebuild her health, her family, her community, and her life. Today, her popcorn company is on the shelves of more than 1,300 stores across Canada, and many of the people she hires are walking the same road back that she once walked herself. This is a conversation about second chances, about rebuilding from the ground up, and about how the hardest chapter of your story can become the foundation for something extraordinary. Welcome to the Leslie Hawkins Podcast. I am so grateful that you are here with us today. Please join me in welcoming today's guest, Emily O'Brien. So Emily is the creator, founder, and CEO of Comeback Snacks, and she has a story that will literally stop you in your tracks. So I am so grateful that you are here with us today. So thanks for joining.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's awesome. So This podcast is all based on one question, which is, what is one pivotal moment in your life? And the reason I chose that question was because we all have multiple pivots, and some we choose and some are imposed on us. And there are ways that people manage through these pivots that I find incredibly fascinating. And how we manage through them shows our level of resiliency, our level of courage. And I wanted to create this platform for people to hear these incredible stories, meet amazing people like you, and just understand that they're not the only ones in the world that are maybe going through some of their pivots and their challenges. So that's the premise of this podcast.
Perfect.
So let me kick it right off. First question is, what is one pivotal moment in your life, Emily?
The day that I went to prison. That was January 16th, 2018.
Okay. So tell us the story, because that's a bit of a mic drop.
Yes. Yeah. Like most people, I never thought my life would end up in prison. I was one of those people that read books about crime and all those things. 2012, 2013, I was living in Toronto. I just came back from a trip abroad. I worked for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So I did I did the undergrad degree. I graduated with honors, worked abroad. Did the thing. I worked some marketing jobs, and then someone told me to start my own company. Like, not told, convinced.
Yes.
Because I had these like traits in me and the creativity. So I went for it. And so I was running my own company in Toronto, a social media company called Gather. And then like things went really like dark with my family. My parents got a really tough divorce. And I know this is nothing new, but it doesn't make it any easier.
No.
I know it's very common. Doesn't make it easy. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yes.
And I really struggled with it, quite frankly. And, you know, I'd always like had casual drinks, and like there definitely had been some issues with alcohol in the past, but this was more like, at the time I was drinking like casually. And now when that happened, it went from like celebration to medication.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Try to numb.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to get through it. And then cocaine use was definitely there. You know, it was kind of like Botox for the soul. That's what I called it.
Okay. Wow. That's a different way of looking at it. Mm-hmm. And so your life is starting to spiral a little bit.
Yeah, definitely spiraled.
Okay.
But again, like going through university, we drank. Like, I'm not saying I just went from nothing to all of a sudden. It was like there was things.
It's part of the culture also.
Part of the culture, even like people doing MDMA. I graduated with honors. You know what I mean? It was,
yes.
But this part, I know that I was not in a good place, and I actually met someone through my work who was sober allegedly, and we became pretty close.
Okay.
And not like intimate, like physically intimately close, but like emotionally intimate.
Okay.
And he would help me. with really simple things like help me walk my dog. And he was also like a customer of mine. And then like some of his checks started bouncing, but I just kind of, they weren't for high amounts. And so like I just kind of ignored it.
Yes.
But obviously hindsight, everything's 2020.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we never do. Okay. But it wasn't a relationship in that way.
No, it wasn't like we weren't dating. Like,
no.
There's some headlines that say that, but like every column will say different things. But coming from me, it was not that.
It was not that. Okay. Yeah. And so how do you go from there to being in prison?
Yeah, so we went on a trip to St. Lucia. At first, he told me we're going to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
But then when we get to the airport, the ticket says a completely different place.
Oh.
Yeah. But then he's like, oh, it must have just been your drinking. And I saw his personality kind of start to change.
Oh.
But I just got on the plane, and 3 days in, the trip is totally fine the first 3 days.
Okay.
And then on the third day, he's like, we're actually here to work.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you really think this is all fun and games? And I get taken to a house that looks like an Airbnb or a bed and breakfast. I would say not Airbnb, bed and breakfast. It's like a nice cottage looking house.
Yeah.
But instead of like plates and cups in the walls, it's in the cupboards, it's bricks of cocaine. So
what?
Yeah. And that's when I find out through people there that, he'd already, when he booked the tickets, he sent them my information and had told them that I had agreed to bring drugs back to help settle some debt. So
no way.
Yeah, by the Friday, I was like strapped up with 2 kilograms of cocaine to my body. He had it too, and go back to Canada and land and are arrested.
So, okay, hold on.
It's a lot.
Like literally mind blown. So the first couple of days were fine. Like it was just a nice vacation.
It was a nice vacation.
And that's how it was presented to you, was we're going on a vacation.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And when you realize that, like I'm in deep, like what's your reaction at that point?
I didn't actually think it was real. I wasn't really afraid yet. I wasn't like, and I only knew him, so I didn't really have a choice but to still be with him on that trip. I only knew him.
Okay.
And, I was told, everyone here is in on it, that people at the hotel. Like I was just told a mishmash of information that said basically everyone knows, so don't try to, sabotage it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you get on the flight, like you must have been freaking out.
At this point, I was like mad. Yeah. Like the 2 days after that, I was just pissed.
Right.
I said, listen, I'm not a good liar. Like I travel around the world and I volunteered around the world. And now it's like,
yeah,
like, how did this even happen? I'm actually I'm really mad at myself, to be honest. But again, I just wanted to go home. Like I didn't read the criminal code. I didn't plan this like operation. So I don't really know the consequences of anything really. Like I just know that I want to get home safe.
Yeah.
So that was my goal.
Okay.
Just go home.
Just go home.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get on the flight. Everything's fine getting on the flight. You get off and you go through customs.
You go through customs. So you go through the first part. And at this part, he doesn't coach me on who I'm supposed to be, Okay. And then he said one thing to me when we were still in St. Lucia. And he's like, okay, because I was freaking out. He's like, okay, you can, when we get to Pearson, take the drugs off you and put them in your backpack. Because they were like they were wrapped in saran wrap. He's like, put them in your backpack and give them to me. And I'll bring the backpack as my carry-on, and I'll walk through customs with it. So you don't have the money. So I was like, okay, I felt a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then we get to Pearson. I go to the bathroom and he grabs the back of the bag. He's like, oh no, it's too late now. So he bait switched me twice. And so at this point now I'm done. I'm just like pissed.
No kidding.
But again, like I can't sabotage the operation because I know it'd just be my fault. And so like I'm trying to hide all this additional fury.
Yes.
And in the middle of an airport when they have all these people like watching like behind cameras, like not just people on the floor, but people they have so many
banks and banks of it. Yes, exactly.
Watching you.
Right.
So obviously, I'm sure they could tell something was wrong. And then we get called into secondary and they ask both of us a series of questions, but separately. And then the final question they asked me, it's like, okay, Miss O'Brien, like we're going to do a physical search on you. And they're like, is there anything you want to declare or something like that? And they're like, we are going to do a physical search.
Yeah.
And so I said, yeah. Because I looked him right in the eye. Because he actually had to ask me again because I just looked at the floor for, I guess it was too long.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I was like, the best thing to do here is tell the truth because this
You're
guy
done.
didn't protect me. So why should I protect him at this point?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So you say yes.
Yeah.
And then you hand over the drugs?
So I get put in a holding cell where they first weigh them and test them to see what they are. And then, they confirm, it is cocaine and the value, I guess. And so then I'm formally charged by the RCMP. And, I thought I could just go home. I couldn't.
No,
it's not. You can't just call a friend to bail you out in this kind of situation.
So did he got through?
No, he didn't. He got arrested too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so I have no idea what then happens because, quite frankly, all I know is what you watch on TV or read in a book. So you don't get to go home.
No.
And at some point, you got to tell somebody in your family because I'm sure they're expecting you home.
They end up calling. Well, I didn't live at home. I lived in Toronto.
Oh, right.
And my parents were separated, so they weren't really talking. Like it wasn't like I was traveling on my own. Like many years. Like I didn't tell them about every single trip that I was on.
Yes.
But they could see like online. Like they knew from like social media and stuff. But
yes.
So then I get taken to the local jail. Basically, I have to the Peel. So then the Peel police is like closest to the airport. And then I have to go to Vanier over the weekend because my bail hearing is on Monday. And then that's when they actually the jail calls my parents and are like, your daughter's been
arrested.
Yeah. They call both them and they actually both came to court on Monday. And that was a very difficult moment having to look at them in shackles.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What was your parents' reaction?
I'm glad that I was okay. And then it turned into anger and confusion, sadness. But the first one was like a look of relief.
Yes.
Yeah.
That you're okay.
Yeah.
And were you okay?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was still, it hadn't really occurred, not occurred. Like I didn't know what was about to happen. I thought I didn't know that this is going to be like the next 10 years of my life.
Right.
Right. Like I didn't know the system. Like I was like, everything was so new.
Right.
So I wasn't mad then yet because nothing really had happened.
Yes.
I'd been arrested, I had to go to my mom's house, but I didn't know. I didn't find out till a week later that I had to move out of my condo in Toronto. I ended up having to give up my dog. My business was in Toronto, so I had to still run it. I could still run it, but not without living in extreme paranoia. And so, and this went on for 2.5 years. And then, the legal fees and because you don't know anything. So that was the worst time for us.
Yes. So what took all that? So you go to the bail hearing, first of all, on the Monday, you get bail.
Yes, for $50,000. And so in Canada, the bail system is set as a guarantee. It's not cash bail.
Okay.
So they actually put up part of their house. Meanwhile, they're trying to get separated. So if I mess up and this is taken away, then it added another layer of stress. So financial tension.
Yes.
Right. So
yeah, there was plenty of tension to need to add. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of fights happened and, but because we didn't know. And it was frightening. Quite frankly, it was frightening. It was frightening time.
Yes. And so those 2.5 years, you're out on bail, but you're still waiting to get processed through the system, and the legal system takes forever and a day.
Took so long, yeah. So I was on house arrest for 2.5 years. So I had to have handwritten notes for when I went out, and to work, I could go to work. But I had my own company, so I was able to kind of figure out a solution to I wasn't even allowed to go to the gym technically on my conditions, but I ended up finding a client that was a gym, so I could go there and work. And work out. Okay. So I was able to kind of be strategic about who I worked with in ways that could actually benefit my mental health as well. Okay.
Yes.
Which is good.
Because your mental health must have been
it was a shambles.
Yeah.
Shambles for the first 1.5 years. And I even I was smoking a pack a day and I was still drinking. I was up in my room at my mom's house. I was up in the attic and I would probably drink a 2-6 every 2 days or something like that. It got pretty bad, certain periods. And then actually the turning point was I went out again. I went out without a note because I just wanted to get cigarettes and my lungs are recovered now.
Yes.
But I went out and then we live her house is in Hamilton near McMaster University.
Okay, yeah.
So it was near Frosh Week, I guess. So they had more patrol cars out for the cops. And so they pulled me over and, yeah, there's a note. And then I got to go to jail for another night. My mom bailed me out. My lawyer was like, Emily, we know that this is a really awful situation, but we know that you're a good person because all the work that you've done in your life, volunteering, your track record shows it.
Yes.
But if you mess up again, like they are not going to let you out. And it's going to be a lot harder to prove your case.
Correct. Okay.
So that's when I was like, all right, this is it. This is time. And actually spending time with my mom was awesome because we would look at old family photo albums and be like, oh my God, this is an amazing time. You know, like that's how I had to find out again who I was.
Yes.
And not just like this criminal on a piece of paper.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so did you know at that time that there was a good chance that you would have to go to jail?
I didn't find out. That wasn't until about like a year and a half later. Yeah. And then that's when we knew the amount, and I just pled guilty because I wasn't going to go to trial. I wasn't going to testify against these people.
No.
And based on the facts that I said I had something on me at the airport, they're like, the evidence is kind of, you might as well just plead guilty. And I was like, I want this to be over with for myself, for my family.
Yes.
I saw it as a new beginning.
Okay.
But not without like living in emotional squalor for like a year and a half. And then I just got so bored of it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not me. I was like, I'm a happy,
like
good kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like I might have had issues, but like, I was like, I was very happy.
Yeah.
So, and like, I didn't like the person that had made me. Like, I knew I had to like obviously figure out how this happened, and not like, it wasn't just fine. Like I had to kind of be in that emotional squalor for a bit to realize, you know, who I hurt and how I hurt them. And because I did hurt my family a lot. And
I'm
sure my younger sister wouldn't even look at me for 6 months. And
so,
yeah, it was just kind of a necessary. It wasn't necessary evil. It was just a necessary thing that needed to happen.
Exactly. And so then you go. So do you have to go to court once you plead guilty? You still go to court.
Yeah, you still go for like your sentencing day, and the courtroom was completely packed. So my whole family came. Even like the Bishop of Hamilton came at the time. So everyone was really rallying behind me because people knew who I was.
At your core, this was just a mistake.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And so you get sentenced to
4 years.
Ooh.
4 years. Yeah. And at first that sounds scary, but let's remember, I had a lot of time to like plan where I was going. And I was at a work event and I met someone that worked for John Howard Society, and they had a company called Clink.
Okay.
And the person that worked for Clink had actually also been incarcerated for the same crime as me. And so I managed to meet this mentor by accident. So she actually helped me prepare and plan and worked with my family.
Okay.
And so by the time like January 16th came around, like I was ready. I was like, this is like my time. So I wasn't afraid. I was looking forward to it because I began to see it as like an investment.
Okay.
Right. You know, the legal fees were astronomically high, you know, especially for a 25-year-old. And, so I was like, okay, if, you know, this is going to be like my rehab. It's going to be like a sabbatical. It's going to be my education. I'm going to do something good. I don't know what it was going to be. And so I didn't think it would be popcorn, but
no. Okay. That's incredible. So, Mike, other than what we see on TV, what's jail actually like? Like, what was that day like?
So there was 2 facilities that I can kind of offer insight into. The one of them is a lot like what you see in the movies. It's a provincial institution.
Okay.
And it's maximum security. It's overcrowded. The doors are metal. The meals are, you know, there's limited showering. There's a lot of violence. And it's just overcrowding. The lights are always on. It's like a form of like sleep torture. Like they don't let you actually sleep. You know what I mean? And so that is like very much, I would say, like a lot what you see in the movies. Federal prison, it's a little bit different because it's tiered. Okay. So you have maximum security, which is like for violent offenders. So murder or aggravated assault. Okay. They have to spend at least 2 years in there before you can get like moved down. Okay. And then other than that, everyone starts in medium, and that's where I started. But you live on like a compound in a house, and there's like I think 15 houses or something But again, these are people that could have been convicted of murder and that just transitioned out. So it's really like a mixed bag. Yes. And you just kind of have to, you know, not to like. Look, I found there's like 3 rules. It's like don't talk crap, don't like start crap. Don't have any debts, and obviously, you know, it's not good if you ratted on someone or depending on your crime as well. You know, the prison population isn't too friendly to crimes against children.
Yes. No. Okay. Understood.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how long were you in jail for?
So I did a year, and then I was granted day parole because I was just like, I'm not messing this up.
Yes.
And was there drugs in there? Yeah. But it was also more the drugs that were already provided by the prison. Like people would just trade their prescriptions for things. Okay. So I think I took 1 sleeping pill once, and I slept for like 2 days.
That's an intense sleeping pill.
It was like very powerful.
Yes.
That's like all I did.
Yes.
But then people would smoke like banana peel and like tea, it was called Banaco.
Okay.
Yeah. But you could also get tested at any time.
Yes.
So that's why I was just like, not worth it.
That's not worth it. So, but up until then, like even when you were on house arrest, you were still drinking, you were still doing drugs?
Oh yeah, I definitely did drugs.
So how did you rehab? Like, did you do part rehab when you're in jail or?
I wasn't doing enough where I was like physically addicted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was never like had the physical addiction to it.
Okay,
I was
great.
just like, okay, done. Let's go. Next chapter.
Next chapter.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to us about popcorn, because
Yes.
somewhere in here, popcorn
Somewhere.
comes up.
Yeah. So part of my, I want to say like substance use disorder was because of a food, like an eating disorder.
Okay.
And so after I'd recovered from that, I didn't want to go to prison and like relapse from that. Like I had one for like 10 years and then I'd substitute the vodka, whatever.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm not going to relapse with this thing. Cause that I found was far more, it was way harder to get over that than it was any alcohol or anything like that because you need food to live.
Yes, you do.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a lot for me. It was much harder. It took me 10 years.
Okay. Do you mind me asking what that was?
Yeah. It was like anorexia and then bulimia.
Oof.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm ready to go to prison. I was like, I'm ready to. And so I exercised a lot. And then I got popcorn off the canteen. I would buy, because you would make your own food. So the prison would provide certain foods for you to just cook. And you have to figure out with your cellmates, not cellmates, but like your housemates.
Yes.
Who's going to cook when and everything like that. Because you have house of 10 people in one kitchen. So you got to figure out a schedule. Right. But then you could also buy things off the canteen, like the commissary with your own funds. And so I'd buy popcorn kernels because I knew I wanted like a healthier snack because I didn't want to relapse. And so I'd put like just random spices on it. And then as I was kind of doing that, and then like I would bring it to like, I don't know, the living room, and then people would chime in and like share their favorite like popcorn recipe. And then I saw how it made people so creative, but also connected.
Yes.
And we would talk about all sorts of things. Like I learned about people's stories and how I was actually really lucky. You know, I was never a victim of abuse when I was growing up or anything like that. Like the experiences of some of the women that I met in there were absolutely horrific. And those aren't my stories to tell, but I didn't, suffer like anything violent or anything like that. So anyway, so I learned that I was like really lucky too. And, but one thing we also talked about was like employment and working and who's going to hire us.
So now what?
So not only do we feel worthless, but like people aren't going to hire us. So what are we going to do? And throughout this time, I was kind of just reading about social enterprises when I was in prison. And I'd also read a number of stories about people who had been to prison and built things after, and like how entrepreneurs, like successful entrepreneurs, often have similar like qualities of people that can be like, if you're a drug dealer, you're running a business. So it's like,
I get it.
So I was like, maybe I can, and then it kind of just put all of them together. I was like, maybe I can start a popcorn company with like bold flavors and a bold mission to fight for second chances.
Yeah.
And I went with it.
And you went with it.
Yeah.
And it's called Comeback Snacks.
It's called Comeback Snacks.
Now that wasn't the first name.
The first name was Constant Kernels, but that's because I did a survey.
Oh, okay.
I had like all these names and then I passed it around, and that was the name that people chose that they liked the most. But
that one's good, yeah.
But upon like actually selling into the market, not just to like talking about with ourselves.
Yes.
It was more like, okay, if you want to connect with everyone, like what does everyone do? Make mistakes.
Yes.
Make comebacks. And so that's where the name came in.
Okay.
Name change.
That's amazing. So, like it's one thing to have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another thing to then leave prison. And how long were you in for?
I was in for a year, and then my sentence was 4 years. And like I got out the statistical amount of time if you don't mess around. So like that was just how it works. Percentage of time.
Okay.
But then I had to spend 6 months in a halfway house after that. So day parole.
Okay.
And then once you do that, you can get full parole, so you can live on your own.
Okay.
But you're still supervised like heavily, like, they can drug test it, all those things. So it's not just like willy-nilly do whatever you want.
Yeah, no, exactly. Okay. So then going from concept to like, I'm actually going to start this. How did that happen? Because I have to imagine carrying this label has its challenges.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it as a liability. I began to see it as an asset.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I just kind of began to reframe everything. And again, doing like a lot of reading about people's stories and their lives. And it was I was also in there at a time where like the prison reform movement was starting to make like real waves and starting with the US. And so I was like, I couldn't have gone to prison at a better time.
Okay.
If I was just like, if it was 2000, people would have been like, whatever.
Yeah.
But so there's already this movement towards prison reform and second chances starting in the US.
Okay.
Not really so much in Canada, but
Interesting.
again, I'd read stories about people going to prison, starting businesses in the US.
Yes.
And being accepted. And even like Richard Branson in the UK had Virgin Trains. He had a whole like division for going into prisons and hiring people to work for Virgin Trains. So
yes,
like
I'd heard about that. Yes.
Yeah, so leaders were actually starting to do that.
Yes.
And so that's when I was like, okay, I have something here. So when I got out, I had to get a job at the gym. Like I still had to get a job with a paycheck.
Yes.
Like I didn't have like money, like that much money. Like, you know, I had like a little, like $5,000 or something in savings. Yes. But what really helped build the Comeback Snacks was the community. Like I shared it with the Hamilton Spectator. I worked with a reporter because I was like, this story is going to be shared. It's going to be shared by me.
Yes.
On
absolutely.
my own terms.
Yes.
And then it got shared in the Toronto Star. And then I was asked to go on like CTV morning show.
Great.
And so it kept on getting picked up. But the reason why people like, I got so much good feedback. And of course there's going to be people that were like, whatever, like still hate you. Like, that's fine. But it was 8 pages long. And so it actually started from the very beginning to like, what happened. And then that's when people are like, oh my God, like I'm so glad you shared this. So now I can share this with my daughter.
Yes.
Right. Or it's like, oh my God, I've been going through this thing. And how did you get through this? So it went from like a position of like going to prison, it makes you scary or you're bad, to like, oh my God, this is actually relatable.
There's exactly
elements of,
That's incredible. Yeah. So how do you, like, where you make the popcorn? Like when you started, were you like
prison
cooking?
kitchen, baby.
And when you came out of prison, like, okay, in my condo or my apartment, I'm now making
Well, I had to move back in with my mom. Like I worked at the, I was in the halfway house. And so I rented a commercial kitchen space.
Oh, okay.
But then I also would like tinker around with recipes that my mom says, but you can't sell those to the public. I was like, I'm not breaking any more rules. I was like, I know everyone's going to be like watching me like a hawk.
Absolutely.
So I was like, I'm doing everything by the book here.
Yes.
And then once I was allowed on full parole, I moved like just down the street of the halfway house in Dundas, in my friend's basement.
Okay.
And then there's a local grocery store there called the Horn of Plenty. And they're like, why don't you just pop your popcorn here. We're licensed for free. And if you help us with our social media, because they're like, they really want to expand there. So that's what I did. I bartered like my current skill set.
So good.
For what
Yeah.
The exchange of value.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And your community, who was there when you were sentenced to now the community that you've grown, they've shown up for you all the way along.
Yeah. I mean, when I got arrested, people are definitely pissed off. I mean, rightfully so when you don't know the story. And, but like, I knew I had to work at it. And there's some people that, I didn't talk to ever again. But then there's also people that came to visit me as often as they could.
Okay.
And like, that's not up to me. If people want to part ways, that's fine. That's okay. Like, because there are a lot of people that have been, I harmed myself with my drug use. Right. So it's like, I understand that there are people that may have known victims of drug, you know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
Right. So like I had to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But it's,
that's really good.
Yeah.
Okay. So how's business with Comeback Snacks then?
It's good. We're like in 1,500 stores now.
What?
Yeah. Actually, no, I think we're in.
That's so good.
So we just launched with TJX USA in like 4,000. So I think now we're almost at 5, but that's very new. So I'll have to get the numbers on. But Canadian stores.
Wow.
Yeah. 1,300.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So when you look back on your journey, like how proud do you feel of what you've done?
I'm proud of myself, but I'm also proud of the people that helped build it because, I have amazing staff. Like there are a lot of people that have worked with us are people that have been incarcerated. That was like my main goal. Okay. Popcorn was just kind of the vector, right?
Yes. Okay. So you exclusively hire people who need a second chance?
Not exclusively because there's different roles that need to be filled that, you need to have like certifications or whatever, but my business partner, for example, he's not.
Yes. Okay.
He hasn't. But like when we have roles at, like sampling or doing sales at trade shows, events, giving it out on this, like, yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
And if we have like the financial capacity to hire as well too, right? But when you're so small, it's like you can grow in incremental stages as,
Yes.
Small business is tough.
Small business is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. Living it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible. Okay, so there's so many places I could go, but what would you say you have learned the most about yourself through this journey?
I would say that what I've learned about myself, that my energy can do really good things when it's put in the right place.
Okay.
Because energy can also, like, you can be very dangerous. And when I got arrested, I really wanted revenge, and that mindset was putting me in like a very bad, dark place who I wasn't. But then when I took that need for like negative revenge and put into something positive, that became like this like unstoppable tsunami of goodness.
So good.
And that's the best feeling, like knowing that you're doing something that's helping yourself, it's helping other people, and you have that momentum that could have been very dangerous, and now it's like something awesome.
Yeah. And so do you still harbor anger?
No.
No.
Only actually no, I have little moments because like things will happen. Like last year my sister got married in Scotland.
Nice.
And I was like bridesmaid because I'm her sister.
Yes.
And this is a sister that, didn't talk to me for 6 months.
Yeah. So that's a big deal.
So 3 months before the wedding, UK changes the rules. And it's like, if you've been to prison, you can't come.
No.
So I had to basically tell my sister that I couldn't come to like the most important day of her life.
Yeah.
And it was all, so that's when I was like so mad. It took me like weeks because I didn't want to text her. I didn't want to tell her on the phone and end up this whole crying incident at like Earl's restaurant. But it was like but that was like how quickly, how sometimes these things can still impact you, right?
Yeah.
And so that's when I was just, but you know what I did after that? I met her in the south of France right after.
Fantastic. Exactly.
You find a different path.
You find a different path.
Yeah.
Okay. So you figured out resiliency quite well.
Yeah, I try to.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So what would be your words of wisdom for the audience based on everything you've learned? Because you've lived a full life in a short life.
Yeah. I would say it's okay to be sad, but just don't live there forever. Don't live forever because life is truly a gift.
Yes.
And we have so much that we can do when we are on, and there's so much goodness that we can create and build in others. And so once I like went from like changing that anger into like something like it was a sweet revenge kind of thing.
Sweet revenge.
Sweet revenge.
Exactly.
I would say find that.
Find that. Curious, how did you figure out how to make that switch?
I just got bored of feeling like that. I got really, really bored. I was like, this is not me.
No.
And again, I was surrounded by like a lot of people that knew that wasn't me too. So it's like, you got to, because in the beginning I was kind of hanging out with people that were like, Emily, go get your revenge, So you also have to get away from those negative forces.
Right.
Which sometimes isn't easy when you still have that negative force inside you.
Totally.
So
yeah, because they're just reinforcing how you already feel.
It's like gum on the bottom of a shoe. It's like,
yes. Yeah. It just keeps you grounded and not the way you want.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So part of it is shedding those around you who aren't really bringing you what you need.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's amazing. Well, your story is incredible. Incredibly grateful that you are here and telling the story. And while you have lived a full life in a short amount of time, very grateful that you're on this side of it and that you're making a difference. You're making a difference in such a important way in a community with people who desperately need a second chance, and you're giving them that. And also feeding everyone with some incredible snacks.
We're going to do a taste test?
I was going to say, we're totally doing a taste test after this.
That's awesome.
So thank you. Truly appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me here.
It's awesome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm not normally speechless, but I was overwhelmed by Emily's story. The fine line between seeing the red flags and actually acting on them literally cost her years of her life. And yet, her resilience and strength are commendable. Imagine looking forward to going to prison to have a chance to turn your life around. What she built since her release is nothing short of amazing. If this story resonated with you, please share it with someone you care about, and be sure to subscribe so you can continue to hear more pivotal stories involving one question, one turning point, one powerful story. I'll see you next week with another guest on the Leslie Hawkins Podcast.